welcome to the Noted Podcast. Last week, we reviewed the movie RV starring Robin Williams, so we decided to keep this episode in the same vein, except a much older, grotesque, and vulgar vein. We're going to talk about RV's adult counterpart, the Millers.
Disgustingly descriptive.
We're the Millers.
Just a nasty vein used.
I'm your host, Daniel, and your other host, Eric.
Hello.
We're the Millers. It's a simple premise. Our main character, David Clark, played by Jason Sudeikis, is a humble street dealer who is put in the wrong place with a group of thugs due to his annoying apartment neighbor, Kenny Ross, played by Will Poulter.
Man got the eyebrows.
Yeah. David Clark gets jumped and they rob him of all of his money in his safe and all of his weed as well. His stash is gone and his boss isn't happy. David's boss, Brad Grudelinger, played by Ed Helms, which, by the way, I'm so happy that Ed Helms is a villain in this movie. He does such a good job.
Ed Helms looked like he was on drugs in this movie.
I loved it. It made me so happy.
Yeah.
Gives David one chance to make up for his debt and make a cool $100K by being a drug mule across the border of Mexico with
and if he doesn't do this,
and a half of weed.
If he doesn't do this, he's gonna kill him.
Yeah, he doesn't really have an option.
No, this is a lose-lose for David essentially. Well, it's a lose-win, but yeah.
It's super high risk.
Little reward.
Yeah, super high risk, not much of a reward. It's completely high risk.
Yeah.
David's freaking out.
25 years in a Mexican prison.
Yeah, exactly. Or he can just die here. Or he can make a cool $100K. But David's freaking out because he has never done anything like this before. He's just a street dealer. He just sells weed. And him and Kenny, the reason David got in this position in the first place is Kenny went and tried to stand up for a girl in front of a ton of these thugs, and David, being his neighbor and knowing Kenny, was like, come on, dude, like, no, he doesn't mean it.
Stupid.
Don't do this. Yeah, he's like, don't be the hero. And he's like, oh, no, David's he's like, what do you want, old man? And he's like, no issue. And he's like, David's not weird. He's cool. He's a drug dealer. Yeah. And then they're like, cool, we now know who the new target is. Yeah. So Kenny is on the steps talking to David about what he's going to do. Because David's being super nonchalant about the fact he's having to be a drug mule.
Yeah, this is after he got robbed and everything. So
he's
in the mindset of like, oh no, what do I do?
And that's when they see an RV family who gets off easy from a police officer for a traffic violation. And that's how he decides he's going to get the weed across the border. Hello, I'm your host Daniel, but before I get into this week's episode of the podcast, I just want to let you know that this Friday we will be dropping the Utopia and Dystopia video. It's one of our next concept breakdowns, so I hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned for that. That will be coming out this coming Friday, 2 days after you will see this on Wednesday. Thank you very much. On to the episode. David recruits Kenny as his son. And Casey Mathis, who's played by Emma Roberts, is a homeless girl that he adopts, that he recruits as his daughter for a measly $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Last but not least is Jennifer Aniston, who plays Rose O'Reilly, the stripper. O'Reilly.
Same.
Stripper.
Stripper
joins the last minute after declining the first time for 10, and when he offered her 10K, she runs onto the plane, says she'll do it, but she wants 30K instead.
Bro, that scene when they're arguing on the plane, and then the flight attendant, is everything okay? And then Rose is just like
breaks
straight into prayer. They get off the plane and like, yeah, if you ever want that recipe, just let me know. It's like, oh my gosh.
Dude, how to make people not be suspicious of you?
Pray.
Be religious. They make their way across the border no problem because it surprised me how like the 90% of this movie takes place after they get the
after
weed.
they get the drugs across the
Yeah,
border.
like the
Yeah.
like the
After they do the hard part.
yeah. But
I think that's the irony of this movie.
I agree. And I think that's where this movie, like, I feel like it would be too easy to make that the conflict, but I think the movie
Yeah.
was in the right, like, idea to make that the
Yeah.
easy part. So they make their way across the border. They make it to the cartel compound to pick up the weed. And David's says he's there for Brad, and this guy One Eye, big burly dude, is about to puts a gun in his mouth, and he's like, no, I'm here for Pablo Chacon,
Gringo.
which is the name that Brad told him to say is Pablo Chacon. And he's given the weed
man
willingly.
with the hair like donkey.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And he's given the weed willingly after that point. But it's not just a smidge of weed.
No, it's like 2 tons.
Yeah, it's 2 metric tons of weed that they literally fill to the brim in the RV. Like...
Every orifice of this RV
oh god,
is filled with like I would probably say
bricks. You could
so
build
like,
a wall with this weed. Like they're bricks.
You could build a fort.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy, dude.
And yeah, but all the cabinets, all the fridge, everything was filled with weed. And so they're driving out of the compound, and a Mexican police officer stops them, saying, "Hey, I know where you just came from. You're not fooling anyone. Drop it. I want a bribe of $1,000." He's like,
yeah.
1,000. He's like,
yeah. David's
1,000?
like, bro, we don't have that. We can't do that.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, no, we don't have that. Like, I can't get that for you. And he's like, what about another favor? And then he like turns to Rose, who's sitting in the passenger seat, and he's like, Rose, suck his dick. And then the police officer's like, nah, I like a manly touch. And then Rose looks back to David and is like, David, suck his dick. You know, caress the balls a little. It'll be done easily. You know, it'll be over quick. And then David kind of like looks down and is kind of like, you know, kind of pondering it. Like, do I take one for the team?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nah. Turns around, Kenny, front and center. Let's go.
Get him, dude. Kenny. Oh, bro.
He is literally the punchline
of this whole movie, and it's his face. So the actor, like,
he's the dude with the eyebrows from Maze Runner.
Well, and the outfit they put him in, they make him look like the stereotypical boy, like child
dude,
boy,
yes.
But he's like 18, so he's like not a boy, but he looks like a boy. It's so funny, and so David is talking Kenny into sucking this dude's dick, and he's like, "I'm not gonna do it. I don't." He's like,
"Yeah, I can't. I'm not gay."
He's not gay. He's like, "Oh, that's homophobic." He's like, "I'm homophobic because I don't want a dick in my mouth." Exactly, Kenny. He's like,
"That's it."
He's like, "I don't want to do it." He's like, "Do for the girls."
Yeah,
like,
don't do it for me. Don't do it for you. But do it for the girls.
Look at them. Look at them. They're scared. Do it for them.
You think they could survive in a Mexican prison? No. Do it for the girls.
So Kenny's like, okay, I'll do it. And then that's when the police officer's like, am I getting my dick?
What's the holdup? Yeah.
He's like, am I getting my dick sucked or am I getting my 1,000 pesos? And he's like,
yeah. And then he's like, wait, what? It's like $80.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you just wanted that? Sure. Well, that's when David's like, can you believe you're gonna suck this guy's dick, Kenny?
Yeah. He's like, oh my god, I can't believe you're gonna do that. And there's just next scene.
They're at the border and they meet another family in another RV named the Fitzgeralds. Don, Edie, and Melissa, played by Nick Offerman, Catherine Hahn, and Molly Quinn. Which this is like the Carnegies.
This is the Carnegies from RV, but a little more erotic.
Oh, I love this family. For one, the casting of this family is phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
I love every actor and actress in that family. I love it.
Yeah.
They meet them, and in a panic, because they don't really want to talk to them, a brick of weed falls from the ceiling.
Yeah, from the glove, like the above glove box kind of area.
Yeah. And so she wraps it really quickly in a blanket because she doesn't want them seeing it. And Edie mistakes it for a baby. And hence
what's your
baby.
baby's name?
LeBron.
You know, the wife, she's a big sports fan, but, you know, it's just, he'll never be as great as Jordan.
Yeah. You're just fantastic. And so they get pulled over at the border. and they're like freaking out, like they're not being smooth whatsoever.
No.
They're
Even when the dude walks up to the window, do you have any contraband in your RV, sir?
uh 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 so then they
Yeah.
get pulled out of the RV, and he's about to open the door to the RV, and he's like, is there anything you want to tell me before I open this door? They're like, no, sir. He's like, this is your last chance. Whatever
Everyone's
I see,
just shaking their heads, looking down, super nervous.
they're like, whatever I see, I can't go back. I can't help you. And then he's about to open the door, and a ton of immigrants,
just like 4 or 5 immigrants, just crawl out from under the RV
and start running. And then they fucking pull out guns, GTA
they
style, and
instantly start shooting.
popping at them. And then,
Pop, pop, pop.
and then the border guy who's about to open up the RV shoots at them, turns around. Oh, you guys can go. Sorry,
With
this happens
a
all the time.
Cheeky grin. This man is smiling. Oh, this happens. You be on your way. It's fine.
Yeah. And then so the RV breaks down, and while they're going up a hill, and the Fitzgeralds show up and
Magically, like the Cornegis.
exactly, and tow them to an automotive shop that is closed because it's Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's also when they this is before they get into the RV with the Fitzgeralds. Edie is really pressing Rose to hold the baby.
Yeah, she really wants to hold LeBron.
And I keep forgetting they named it LeBron. And so she panics, like, no, Edie, no, and panics.
Yeah, they like oddly fight over it for a second.
Panic throws the weed baby into the street.
Just ran over.
And no one is shocked except Edie. Edie
For
is
the other family.
freaking out.
Oh my god!
They're freaking out. And that's when...
Why isn't it bleeding?
I don't see blood. And that's when Casey reveals that it was her like summer camp biology test baby.
Yeah, like a fake baby mother thing.
And apparently they just got too much into the method acting and took it too far.
Yeah, we thought we could handle it. We thought we could bring it on this trip, but no.
And Edie's like, I feel like anyone would get shaken by that. Then they get in the RV with the Fitzgeralds, and that's when they figure out Don works for the DEA.
Yeah, the plot thickens. Dun dun dun. Dun.
While they're at the RV park, Kenny is talking to the younger girl of that family. I can't remember her name. Melissa. And she is like obviously trying to kiss him.
She got the hots for him.
Yeah. And Kenny just like awkwardly
okay,
hugged her.
Wait, just a second. Before this scene, they play Pictionary, right? Melissa draws a plane, and like it's simple but plain or something like that. The family can't guess it. So then Kenny's like, oh, I would have guessed that. It's my turn now. So then he goes.
He's like, don't worry, I'm a bad drawer.
Yeah. So he scribbles this line like back and forth, like really, really thick, and then like puts a ball on one end and then puts a ball on the other end, but it's kind of on the bottom.
Yeah.
And then Rose, Jennifer Aniston, is just like, she's just like, it's a cock. It's a black cock. It's a big black cock. Black cock down, right? It is the funniest shit in the world. And the entire, it's funny because it's so, this part, like, this is when I got secondhand embarrassment. Honestly, just because
everyone else is just
she's
like,
Rachel from Friends, and for her to be saying this, and everybody else is just like, it's not that,
yeah,
like
the
quit
whole
guessing
the Fitzgeralds
the only thing.
Yeah, Fitzgeralds are like so like embarrassed. The rest of the family is like, why do you just keep yelling big black cock?
Yeah,
and like, but it was without they showed
it was
the
a
picture.
skateboard.
Yeah, it was not a skateboard. That was
but
not a
what
skateboard.
He drew
that was a big black cock.
It was exactly that. I could completely agree with Rose's mental thinking in that. I would have guessed the same thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, Kenny
can't kiss the girl.
He chickens out and gives her a hug.
Yep. And so David and Rose, I don't remember why I could not hear them.
Okay.
The reasoning they wanted to sneak into them. I know it wasn't to kill them because that's what Rose said at first. What were you?
So David and Rose are sitting there, and he's like, okay, so I've got a plan. We're gonna sneak into their tent at night, and then Rose cuts him off. He's like, cut their throats. And then he's like, no, we're not gonna fucking kill them. Did you think I was gonna say that? And she's just like, no, I mean, I didn't mean that. Like, we're not gonna actually kill them. And then he's like, no, we're gonna go in there, steal the keys. Then I'm gonna break into the shop, get some tools, steal their radiator, and then we'll swap radiators, kind of shit like that, so that they can leave before they wake up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they go into the tent to do that plan.
Yeah,
and
to steal his keys.
Unsurprisingly, because if you've ever fucking camped and been in a tent, it's loud as fuck when someone opens and closes it. And Edie and Don wake up, they start like, look, I know you guys are swingers, but we've never done this, but our sex
We got the messages. We got the messages.
The
big black cock. We understood.
Yeah. And like,
we're just not experienced.
Yeah, it's like, I got a vibrator. I do. And like, I'm learning.
Yeah.
But like, we're just not there yet. And she's like,
my favorite line that Edith says is like, my lips, these are only for my husband. And then she like looks down at her hands.
But my hands, they can be for you. And she's like, I've never been with a woman before. And then Rose looks at David. David's like, I'm okay with this.
I'm down for this. Yes,
So
I'm okay with this.
So David and Dawn sit on one side of the tent watching as Edie.
Yeah, Dawn like puts his hand on David's shoulder and is just like
fucking his ear.
And literally starts like massaging the top of his ear, and then like at the point when Edith like slams her hands onto Rose's boobs, you can just see him like aggressively penetrating David's ear, like just straight faced. Like, it's, oh my gosh, dude. And then they just dip.
He's not just putting his finger in once. He's pulling it out and putting it back in. And
it's like, horrible.
Dude, it's so funny. Oh, and so they leave, and Rose is like freaking out, and David's like, I just got finger fucked in the ear. What do you care? And like,
yeah.
Oh. And so they get back to the RV, and Casey is teaching Kenny how to kiss. And then Rose and David see, and so Rose jumps in and starts teaching Kenny how to kiss. And when I say teaching, I mean they're kissing him.
Yeah, so it's like him in the middle of a couch, and then he just turns one way, turns back the other way, turns one way, and then Melissa like walks in or something like that, right?
Yep, and she walks in because she wants to talk to Kenny about like them not kissing, and she sees those two. They're all just
making out.
On top of it, it gets worse. David is taking pictures as though he's gonna upload it to Pornhub or some shit. And Melissa walks in as he's filming this. And she, like, freaks out and leaves.
As anybody would in this situation.
1,000%. And so
I probably would start screaming. I'd be like, ah! Oh my god!
Oh, and so the RV gets fixed the next day, and their Fitzgeralds are seeing the Millers off, and they're like, I'm sorry Melissa can't see us. She's just locked up in her room right now. I don't know what's going on. She just felt
sick.
Yeah.
Period.
And so they Fitzgeralds leave. They go to pick.
Well, no. So this is the first time we get to see Edie. She like hugs Rose and is like, "You'll always be my secret lover," and slaps her on the ass.
Yeah, dude, I love Edie. Dude, she's so fucking funny.
She's good, dude. And
her whole relationship with Rose is so uncomfortable. It is. It's so good. And so Pablo and when I show up, they're about to kill them all, and then Rose is like, I can be of use, and starts stripping for them and starts to distract them and does like a whole fucking
scene.
Like she uses the whole fucking set. And then she blows
the whole garage that she's never been in. She knew exactly what everything did.
Oh, exactly. And then she blows a ton of steam on them to distract them.
Well, yeah, the steam like burns his face.
Oh,
and he's out.
Yes, and then One Eye is fighting David. David does absolutely nothing.
He hits him with a wrench, and he's like, we don't have to fight.
Yeah, and then Kenny gets into the RV and runs over, like
The one
hits
eye.
hits one eye. They all get in the RV and start to drive off, and David's trying to get the wheel from Kenny.
Yeah. Just
Um,
give me the wheel. You're gonna fucking kill us.
and while that's happening, while they're on the road trying to like switch and like they're arguing and jerking around the RV, a spider crawls up Kenny's pants.
Okay, yeah. So One Eye's mom gave the Miller family a basket of fruit. In the basket of fruit, there's this huge ass tarantula,
Yeah, this is
and it's
like at
just
the
been
beginning of the
sitting in
movie.
the
Yeah.
yeah. It's just been sitting in the fruit the whole time. When they're driving, it gets knocked over, and then it crawls up his shorts.
And so then they oh, by the way, no one pays attention to the fact that Gigantic RV runs off the highway through the garden into just random grass. No one cares about
Yeah.
that.
No, that's a weekend, bro. It's
Yeah,
4th
and
of
then
July. Makes sense.
so then Kenny gets his balls bit,
Yeah.
and
My
and
balls, my
they're like,
balls.
"Show us, come on, Kenny." He's like, "I don't want to." He's like, "I can't tell you how bad
Cassie.
it is unless you show me."
We've all seen a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody. What?
And so they pull down his pants.
He drops his shorts.
Balls are like his one ball is like super
Huge.
swollen, like it's so big.
It's probably the size of like an orange.
Oh, bigger than that.
Not like a cutie orange. I'm talking like an orange.
Orange, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Kenny, you're fine. Kenny, you're fine."
Yeah, and then he just onto the ground. Just a flat
Passes
plop.
out. And so they take him to the hospital, and while they're at the hospital, David calls up Brad angry as fuck. And so Brad's like, "Oh, wow, I'm surprised you're alive." And he's like, "Hey, I need more money." He's like, "Get it, a hazard fee." So he's like, "I'll pay you $500,000, but you just have to get it back by tonight." He's like, "Cool." Casey, Rose, and David are waiting for Kenny to come out, and the doctor says he's gonna have to stay here for a little bit longer. And David's like, "Come on, he can leave. He can leave."
Yeah.
And then the doctor's like, "You're a loving dad." So Casey shows up. They finally get Kenny back. And
tips him over off a wheelchair.
Yep, they're reeling him around, and David's going too fast and tips him off.
Yeah,
and
he's
falls
going
over.
crazy.
And
he's on a time crunch.
And he's freaking out. He's getting nervous now because he's supposed to get him back there tonight, and it's like 6:00 at this point. He like has to leave like now if he wants to get back to Denver. And because they're in New Mexico right now. And so then he's like, if we don't leave now, I'm gonna lose $500K, and that's when the meme to end all memes.
Yep.
And Rose is,
"You're getting $500,000. You were only paying me $30K."
"You're getting $30K. I'm only getting $1K. You guys are getting paid."
Dude, his eyebrows too. And it's just like, it's the biggest question mark you could possibly imagine too. You guys are getting paid?
Oh. To be fair though, like I could understand why Kenny did this without asking for money. He solely caused this to happen to David.
Well, like, not only that, but he's really just here to like hang out with David.
Yeah,
he
likes
thinks David's
David.
the coolest person in the world.
Oh, he loves him. Like he always talks to David when he comes out of the apartment complex. David doesn't like him.
Like, "Oh yeah, I heard you and Rose fighting." That's flirting, Kenny. You'll learn it.
Yeah. So David leaves, and because they all get angry and say, "We're not going with you until we renegotiate." He's like, "No, I'm not doing that. You're leaving now." And they like stand their ground, and so David goes off and leaves without them.
Yeah, the little montage of like, I'm not gonna go back kind of thing, and then a song plays on the radio, and then he drives off a little further,
and then he comes back. Yep. And he offers to split the money evenly, so they make him beg. So he gets on one knee, he's about to beg, and then they start walking like, "Come on." And so they start walking back to the RV, and that's when everyone's favorite family, the Fitzgeralds, shows back up.
Yeah.
And Melissa's there, and it's Ida and Melissa talking to the family, and Melissa's like uber uncomfortable, trying to get away, and she's like, "What?" And that's when Melissa says that she ran into them kissing.
My favorite part about that is when all of them run into each other, and well, they all say each other's names. You know, like that, those like stupid scenes where everybody says each other's name in order to the last person who said somebody else's name.
Yep.
That shit cracks me up, and they did it perfectly.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, sorry. Continue.
Oh, you're good. And so, this is when Kenny reveals that they're not a family because he likes Melissa.
Yeah,
And
for some reason he's only seen her like 3 times.
yeah, and so he needs to make sure she knows he's not into incest. And he reveals they're a drug dealer, they're drug mules, and she's like, "You're a drug dealer?"
No. Drug smugglers. We're not drug dealers. We're drug smugglers.
and and once again, Kenny blows up everyone's spot. And this is when, while I was writing this script, I didn't think about this while I watched the movie. As I'm writing the script, I realized Kenny is not only some of the best punchlines and the best part of this movie, but he pushes the plot in every way. The reason David got jumped, Kenny.
Tries to save a chick.
Yep. Oh, which, by the way, we didn't mention it. The chick they tried to save is Casey. Yeah. The reason they got away from Pablo, Kenny and Rose. Rose definitely distracted, but Kenny's was the getaway driver.
Then Kenny got his balls bit. Yeah.
The reason
which
the family
made them go to the hospital, which made them run back into the Fitzgeralds.
Exactly. Yep. The reason they got delayed and David leaving and running into Fitzgerald's, Kenny. The reason the Fitzgeralds learned the truth, Kenny is the plot. Man.
There's this one point in the movie where when the RV breaks down, Kenny looks at David and he's just like women, right? And then David looks at him, he's just like, shut the fuck up, Kenny. And just like walks back into the RV. I think that's one of my favorite lines. Just, shut the fuck up, Kenny. And just walks away.
Kenny's trying so hard.
He really is.
While they're in this awkward, like, confessing of feelings and, like, who they are, the mom, before Kenny spills the beans, the mom thinks the secret that they know, that
Melissa knows.
That Melissa knows is that that Rose.
They swung.
Yeah, that Rose and Edie spent the night. And it's so funny to see everyone's reactions to that. And then
they're just like, what?
And then the reveal happens. Because anytime Edie speaks about Rose is the funniest shit, in my opinion.
She's infatuated with Rose, honestly.
She is.
I mean, who wouldn't be, though?
Oh, yeah. And then One Eye shows up, and Don comes out and beats the fuck out of him.
Absolutely bullies him with a mug.
Yeah.
Like, this man, like, pistol whips him, like, spins mug, throws it up in the air, catches it, slams him down with a fist. It's an epic fight. It's almost a Captain America-esque fight scene. That's how awesome it is.
Dude, Nick Offerman, ladies and gentlemen.
Ron Swanson, my friend.
Dude, and then so Pablo shows up and has Melissa at gunpoint. David then gives his big speech.
Of like, don't kill my family, kill me instead, I'm the drug dealer.
And then Kenny jumps in and punches Pablo. After they juggle a gun, like, comically, like, cartoonishly, and shoot him.
Yeah.
And then punches Pablo. Then he goes and leans Melissa down off of his knee and kisses her and does all the techniques
like fireworks in the background. And
And then
after he's done kissing her, he literally says, "You kiss better than my sister."
Yeah, which is so awkward. And then David does, so early in the film, when Kenny's self-conscious about not being able to kiss, David tells him a technique. It's like, every time you're scared to do something, you can't
count
be...
to 3.
He's like, you can't be too slow. You have to do it. So you just have to count 1, 2, 3, and then do it. And if you do, you just do it right after, no matter what. And so he looks at Rose and says, 1, 2, 3, and then kisses her. This is now like the payoff of the movie of their relationship. So then...
Yeah.
Don says he obviously has to take him in for being,
you guys are good people, but you broke the law. So I will arrest you after I'm done hugging my family.
I'm going to turn around and hug my family.
A very long hug was then hugged.
Yeah, and then they all start to run off. David looks back, looks at them, contemplates, and then it cuts to David goes to Brad the next day. And Brad's like, I'm not paying you. You didn't show up in time. And he's like, you were never going to pay me, were you? And he's like, guilty. Because Brad is like quintessential douchebag.
Boops himself on the nose. Points to him.
That is when the DEA jumps in and Brad
From
got
the
double-crossed.
ceiling.
Yep, David double-crossed him, Brad, with the DEA. And the Millers are put in witness protection and become a real family.
And grow weed in their backyard.
Oh, yes. David does not change.
Did you, yeah, there was no character development at all in this entire movie.
Yeah. Kenny learned to kiss.
That's not character development. That's a necessity.
But yeah, that is the end of The Millers. So if you've never watched it and you want just a goofy summer adult fun movie, comedy, like something light, it's a really good light movie.
Yeah, you should definitely watch this on 4th of July weekend. This is the American dream.
Oh yeah. Drugs and strippers. Drugs and strippers.
Yep.
Drugs,
strippers, and finger fucking in ear.
Finger, dude.
Good shit.
I watched this. I watched this movie when I was like 16.
Really?
Yeah. And like I recognized Kenny, I recognized the daughter, didn't recognize Elf Helms. I recognized the main actor, but that was it. I didn't recognize Jennifer Aniston or Nick Offerman or anyone else.
Yeah.
Actually, I recognized Edie, but I only recognized a bit of the cast. Rewatching this now, I'm like, holy shit, this cast is amazing. Like, I recognized everyone this time, and like, I knew them from all their roles. I'm like, this is an awesome cast.
It's a really solid comedy cast. I would say besides Jennifer Aniston, but like
she plays her role.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying she didn't play her role. She's perfect in her role, sir. What I am saying is that she's not a comedian.
Yeah,
but everybody else is really, really funny. This is one of my favorite like road trip movies, hands down.
Oh yeah. So it's a fun adult movie that is like a simple premise.
This movie is rated. It's rated R.
No, it's unrated.
Because I checked that after you told me that it wasn't rated.
You're right.
I think there might be like a more raunchy version, but it's rated R.
Because I bought it on YouTube and it said unrated on YouTube. I'm slowly collecting movies on YouTube because
hey, dude, if it works, it works.
YouTube has a lot of movies, and I've bought an RV and this, so like I'm just slowly collecting.
I'll reimburse you for RV, dude.
I'm just slowly collecting. No, you don't need to.
Okay. Fine. You talked me into it.
Yeah, no, on YouTube it says it's unrated. Yeah, it is weird. It's so weird seeing these movies back to back on my YouTube.
Dude, yeah.
They're such different movies.
They're different movies of almost the same topic.
Oh yeah.
Man gets in trouble with his boss and has to take family on road trip to recover job.
Yeah, that's the premise of both. That is the premise of both movies.
That is the premise of both of these movies, except one of them is a dad who isn't appreciated, sort of, and then one of them isn't even a father.
Yeah, he's a drug dealer.
And sells drugs.
One's a drug mule. That's his job. And the other
drug smuggler.
Yeah.
I love how through the whole movie, it's always like, you're a drug dealer. Smuggler?
Correction, I'm a drug smuggler.
I'm a smuggler? At one point when Kenny and David are sitting on the front step when he has the epiphany to like build a fake family, he's literally sitting on his phone reading through a Wikipedia page on drug smuggling.
Yeah, it's like he'd get flagged.
Yeah, just like the silent like kind of comedy in this movie as well is super funny. Like I feel like I don't know who wrote this movie, but they did a banger job on it. Me outro?
Thank you for listening to the Noted Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode's review of We're the Millers. If you want more episodes like this, let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, share. You know the dumb YouTube things. I gotta say it. We appreciate ya. Have a fan-fucking-tastic night. This has been Noted.
Wait, we should, before you unrecord, we should